Hello. I'm so sorry, started a little bit late. Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening. I don't know wherever you are. Thank you for joining us. Maria, I can see you. Thank you for joining us. I can see Strong is doing very, very well. So I'm trying to connect with our guest, and I think she's about to log in. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Let me. Oops.
Hi. Hello.
Hello. It's so good to see you.
Same here. Good to see you
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, good
Good to
afternoon.
see you.
It
Good
it was
afternoon.
I was going to go make use of the office to avoid distractions and all of that. And a whole lot of
Okay.
things happened between that time. And I was like, God, what is happening? Am I not supposed to have
Oh,
this program? I'm sorry, we are starting a little bit late today. I'm so sorry.
it's fine. It's fine. I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. The player is all hers. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's hit the ball because we know we have I don't want to take advantage of your time and we have a whole lot to discuss today. So I'll give
Okay.
you everyone, this is Race for Excellence and Juliet convener. I'm just standing in on behalf of the foundation and
Okay.
discussing on peer pressure, managing peer pressure. And with me I have Hope, Mrs. Oladipo, who is standing in for Hope Activates. She's awesome. She's a transformational coach. And so let's hear from you. Please introduce yourself.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Hello, Canary Love, Lariana. I can see some people here. So I am Hope Oladipo, and as she says, I'm a transformational coach. Am I am concerned about companies and individuals, and whether young or old, for them to find out what their purpose is in life and to help them achieve it. I am passionate about the youth growth, sincerely. So finding out that I will be here talking with you and your audience about things that are dear to the hearts of youth is a great joy to me. I am an educator as well. So I'm connected to both the old and the young. So I'm glad. Yes, I am. So I'm really glad to be here, and I hope we're going to have a good time.
Yeah, yeah, I hope so too. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So,
Okay, so let me just make the atmosphere a little bit more relaxed. So yesterday I was watching, someone sent a video to me of a guy who was telling the press that he would love the police to kill him. And I was like, yes, exactly. And that was the first time I will see such of someone,
wow.
he was caught in the act anyway, so he committed a crime. And he was telling the police officers, the press, to say he doesn't want to go back to the prison, so he would prefer
Wow.
that they just
They
kill him where
killed
he is,
him?
you know. And
Wow.
I was shocked. And you know what he
Hmm.
mentioned that took me, I was almost shedding tears, was fine, he has committed an act, and which the consequence could result to murder, maybe him serving
Wow.
some time in the
Yes,
prison.
from
But
the
what took
prison.
me unaware was the fact that he was saying that his whole journey into that criminal act started from the prison, where he met some people
Wow.
and they kind of told him to do this and do that. He did something wrong. Yes, we know things that I think he just took something from someone, and he was thrown into the prison. And there he met those people. So instead for him to come out as a better person, he met those people and they kind of helped me. I don't
Came
know.
out worse.
Yes,
to
made
come
him
out
worse.
worse.
So he's saying he doesn't want to go back there because that is not helping him. He could come out to
Wow.
do worse in the society. So we have people like that. They may not be in the prison. They could be
Hmm.
on the street. They could be in our surroundings. And instead for the friends that they have around them, their acquaintances, their neighbors, the family, to help them become that better person, achieve their
Hmm.
dreams, they find out that
Hmm.
it's turning the other way around. So that's one of the reasons why we have here today. We have you here. So we could discuss these things that we know the youths are going through, because this
Yeah.
is something that is strong, it's something that
Yeah.
is out there, it's something that is, it's the force, the negative prayer is having more force, more influence than the
Yeah.
positive
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah.
So I would like to ask, so can you just give us a little bit of the pressure that you have faced, that you faced as a youth, and how you were able to, the strategies that you deployed in handling some of those things?
Sure. Really, when I think about my life, I think generally for the youth in the society, our experiences are kind of the same, one way or the
Yeah.
other. So the pressures we face are often the same. I
Mm.
grew up in an average Nigerian home, and of course, with my parents and all, I was lucky. I had my parents together for a couple of for a couple of years until I was in secondary school. And in secondary school, just about the time I was leaving secondary school, I lost my dad. So let me talk a bit
Wow.
about the experiences about in secondary school, because really you discover that from statistics, the force of peer pressure starts at the age of 10, 11 upwards, just an average from 10 upwards. And you discover that most times kids begin to get under pressure because they want to be accepted, they want friends. Now you don't want to just be
Yes.
alone in school and all that. It's not just about your brothers or your siblings at home. You get to school, you want to belong. There are cliques being formed everywhere, and you want to associate yourself with the happening people, or it depends on where your interest lies. Some you want to be the one to associate with the bookworms, or you want to be the one to associate with the sports guys, or whatever it is. So in secondary school, fortunately, I would say fortunately, I don't want to say unfortunately. Fortunately, I was in the boarding house. So you have
Mm.
that, yes, you are away from the prying eyes of your parents and your caring eyes of your parents, and you are there alone, and now you're seeing life. You're beginning to make choices on your own. And those were the experiences I faced. Somehow I discovered that, of course, being in the girls' hostel, you discover how some girls were gradually, just because they want to connect, they want to flow with the others, were being encouraged or lured into lesbianism, were lured into premarital sex at that young age, were lured into leaving the hostel to go for parties and things like that. So in fact, it was something that I experienced throughout my years in secondary school. But somehow I was able to stand and to stand against the pressure. Let me put it that way. I was able to stand against the pressure because I would say maybe first of all, my upbringing. So I would start from the house. I had my parents, I had my mother, I had my father. They had values that they tried to instill in us. They were disciplinarians, and they didn't mince words. So these are the values of this home. You must always make us proud and all that. We're hearing that and all. Yes, of course, it was the traditional home. So there was not much of hugs or I love you or I care for you. But of course, we knew that they cared about us. And they took no nonsense. That's it. Those were my parents. No nonsense parents. You know those parents that if you talk too much, you get some slap. you know, yes. All those parents, you dare not go out by 6 p.m. You're in the house and things like that. So I think that followed me to school. So you have one there. Now the second thing was, at an early stage, I decided to be a leader and not a follower. Yeah. So everywhere I went, I wanted to be followed and not to be led. Now, of course, it has its own side effects, but on a higher scale, it was an advantage because I wanted to be the one to create the narrative, not the one to follow the crowd. So I could stay on my own. I didn't mind if you don't invite me to party. Even if you invite me, I'm not going. My focus was I came here for school. I came here for book. I want to be the best. I want to come out with the best results and all that. So I would say from there, I understood my values. I determined what my value system would be. And because of that, despite all the, you are an SU or you are Mary Mother of Jesus and all the stuff, you know, those kind of mimicry and all the stuff they say against you, the bad words, just to pull you to follow them and turn to their ways. I stood my ground because I had my values set and I had my goals set. Yes, it's like at that young age, yes, so there is no age limit to understanding what you want out of life. Yeah. Now, what is peer pressure? You know, peer pressure is simply the direct influence on someone by another individual or a group of people for them to change your value system, for you to change your attitude, or for you to change your ways, you know, or your mindset. That's really it. So yeah. That means that every human being has value system. They have their own attitudes and behavior, even if you're not conscious about it. So all they know is, I want to change this girl. Why is she the? Why she's just, you know, sometimes say, I'm still talking about secondary school. I'm going to move to the university. You know, that idea of she's so full of herself. You know, she's so full of herself. She doesn't want to associate. She calls herself and all the stuff. Yada yada. But it is simply because I understood my value system, I knew my attitudes, and I knew what I wanted out of life. I wanted to be the leader and not the follower. So I would set the pace and others will follow. Now, fast forward into university. For me, that is really, of course, you're an adolescent, you are moving into young adulthood, let me put it in that manner. And of course, there's so much pressure now for you to look good. I'm using myself as an example because of course
exactly true.
Yes. So for you to look good, for you to wear the latest clothes, for you to have the latest hair and stuff like that. Now, those values I carried from I had in the secondary school, I carried with me into the university. I set my standard. You know, when you have that understanding or that mindset that I set my standards, nobody sets it for me. Nobody tells me what I should do. I know right from wrong, and so I will not be influenced externally. People who really give into peer pressure are people who do not have resilience in them. I talk about that a lot. They do not have the ability or the inner strength to determine their yes and their no. So, of course, I had lost my father. My mom was just a trader. And, of course, I was just happy to even have money to even pay for school fees in the first instance. So clothes didn't bother me. I have to say, I'm going to say it here. There was a time I had just one pair of shoes in the university. Just imagine that. And the clothes I had were probably hand-me-downs from my older siblings and all that. I didn't care. All I was concerned about was, why am I here? That's it. That was the first question. Why am I in school? Why am I in the university? Is it to come and show, to come and wear clothes, to come and dress up, to come go for parties? Or why am I here? So my goal was set for me. And then, of course, I had a leader's mindset. So we need to look at that. Why should I give in to peer pressure? Why do people give in to peer pressure? They do not have a strong mindset. They do not have a leader's mindset. They do not have a goal-oriented mindset. You know, there's a saying that if you do not stand for something, what will happen? You will fall for anything. Yes. So what do you stand for? Those are things you need to understand, to know, what do I stand for? If I know what I stand for, when other things come my way to hit and attack or to lure, to change me or whatever, I'm standing strong because I know this is what I want with my life. Where you know, I'm giving this example because sometimes, yes, I understand that there are pressures. We all face pressures. And sometimes some ladies say, I don't have any other thing to do. So you go into prostitution, or you go into, you know, living a wayward life because you feel you don't have money. So there is nothing there. What do I do now? I don't have anything to do. I'm telling you, there were days I would trek distances with these legs of mine because I couldn't even afford the bus fare. You know, I would trek distances, but I had a goal and my mind was set on that goal. Nothing was going to shake it. I knew that these things that I'm facing at the moment are just temporary.
Exactly.
If I know my worth and I understand my goal and I know who I am my life does not consist of the things I have or don't have. The person called Oladipo is the person inside. It is the person inside who has set goals, who knows where she's going, you know. So that's it.
Exactly. And I think you've said a whole lot. Most of the time it starts with you. You start with your mindset. And one thing I've come to find out is when people find out that you are just there, people want to find out what is going on in your mind. They want to influence you. They want to penetrate. It kind of make them feel good that they were able to penetrate this person. They were able to person out of their shell to join their clique. So it makes them feel more important. You know, give this importance to them. And many a times that's what form gangs. So you have this leader in a gang who maybe at some point there were just two of them, and he decided to say, look at this guy. I think he can join us. And he goes out to try to find a way to stop keeping quiet or stop wearing things like this. When you join us, we can help you. You're able to, blend. You have more clothes. You have you find yourself feel loved amongst us. You be accepted in things like that, and they sell it out. And as soon as that person joined their gang, it makes him feel more important because now initially they were two, now they are three, and it makes him feel important. Yes, I have someone else who is in my gang, In
my gang.
That's how people find themselves in criminal acts. I'm bringing this down to the criminals because I know that most of the time the influence you find people who are from a very good background. You came from a very good background. You had the values, you had the mindset, and I think it was just awesome. But you find that there are some people that come from good background. Okay, so recently I met a guy, good background, had everything in his disposal, and you still find themselves, they find themselves lured into gangs or doing things that they wouldn't have thought of. So that is you. So there are some people that they don't really have those things, they are uncomfortable and they join the gangs. But there are some that they are comfortable. Okay, so they have all of it all, and then they still join the gang. So that means there is something, there is this invisible, this intangible, I don't know how I can put it, that is making them to want to feel accepted. And that's where the mindset comes in. The mindset, the goal setting, the you knowing who you are, right? And being able to withstand whatever prayer it is that could come along your way, things of the, because most of the, we find that most of the young people that commit suicide, right, they fall into depression first. It starts with depression. And something must have happened. Someone must have done something somewhere who didn't intend for it to go that way, but it went that way. So there are times that we face pressure in our homes. There are times that we face pressure even in the family. There was this story of a guy who initially, when cybercrime started, and he told his mom about it. He told his mom about it to say his friends are luring him into this and this and this. And you know what the mom did? The mom was like, there's nothing wrong about that. And even he was trying to, so he started facing two kinds of prayer, both the external one and the internal one. So external is trying to tell his friends, I'm sorry, I can't join you, I'm not interested. And he had opened up to his mom. So in his house, the mom is saying, what is wrong with you? It is you that is trying to deprive us of, you know, that effort.
That's the really sad thing. Yeah.
Exactly. So there are times that we face pressure in the home. Ladies face pressure, guys face pressure, and it's all around us. So as a young person, what is that word that you think, what is that word that you want to share to say you will face this pressure? And it's I don't know, I see it as one of those things that we don't really have control over. It will always happen, and you can't really tell how it will happen. But when it happens, what is that word that, you know, as an educator and as a transformational coach, you feel they should always hold behind their minds?
Okay, I want to start from pressures that the kind of example that you gave earlier. Really, it's a sad thing because it's very true that sometimes people face pressure from their homes to do wrong, which is totally ridiculous, but we can't help it. It's the kind of society that we find ourselves. I say that it's a pity because the kind of parents that some people have now are, I don't know, that they shouldn't be called parents. Because if you cannot influence your child positively and help move your child towards the right direction and the right goals for his life, then you are not worthy to be called a parent. Really, you are not worthy to be called a parent. Now, for us as youth, we will face social pressure from the home, pressure at school, pressures everywhere. It's something that, unfortunately, we can't help because we are in the world, you know. So someone that is pressured, you are comfortable at home, you have everything, you know, you have the money, you have whatever you need, and still you're going into gangs. Now, there is a root cause. Because, you know, when you were saying they have everything at home, they have this, they have that, I've heard of situations where some children have everything material, but they do not have everything emotional. So their parents are never there, but their parents cater for their material needs. For someone like that, the drive into gangs, the drive into criminal acts is the need for acceptance. Everybody, no matter how macho or how strong-willed or whatever you are, we have emotional needs that have to be met. And if those emotional needs are not met, somehow you are driven into different associations just to find that acceptance. It's in children, it's in adolescents, it's in the youth, it's in adults. We were created for fellowship. We were created for relationships. We were created to have our emotional needs met. And so because of that, the need for acceptance, people just join different things just to be accepted. But someone who has every financial whatever wants to be accepted by others. Probably he joins the gang and he's the only one bringing the money for all their hits and everything. He feels good. It feels good to be appreciated. And so that is the pull. For those who don't have and are pulled in by one thing or the other, the need for, maybe the need for food, there are different reasons why they join. And those are valid pressures. I'm not saying those pressures are not valid. They are very valid. By the time you sit down to explain why you do what you do, why you joined this gang, why you stole 100 naira, you stole 100 naira because you don't have food to eat. Very valid reasons. You are begging on the streets because you don't have what to do. Very valid reasons. You carried guns and whatever to go and rob a bank because you have suffered for years and all that. Very valid reasons. But how do you overcome pressure? For me, an understanding of your worth would help you overcome every form of negative pressure because you have positive pressure. An understanding of your worth. Now, you know, that was the reason I gave that story. That where people were riding cars in school, in my university, and I was trekking everywhere, and I was going sometimes without food. Do you know that did not determine who I was? So you are not determined by, you are not, your life rather is not judged by what you have or what you don't have. You determine what kind of person you would be known by. I've watched the story. I'm sure many of us here would know Pato Rankin. Pato Rankin is a musician, a Nigerian musician. And I watched his story, I think around the time where he was made a judge for The Voice Nigeria. And I watched his story. When he was still growing up, he was into drugs, smoking, he was with gangs and whatever and all that. Because he was, I think he's Jegun, I've forgotten the area, Ajengule, all those slums of Lagos. That was where he grew up. But when he understood his worth, he said it, that he needed to change his ways, he needed to change his attitudes, his lifestyle, because he was now a role model. He understood that people were looking at him from behind and needed to emulate him, and he needed to make himself an example for them to follow. What really changed? It wasn't because he started doing music, because he was doing music even in the slum. It was because he had an understanding of who he was. You need to first understand and determine who you are first, before you can begin to see it on the outside. Who are you? You are a leader. I'm a Christian. You would say to yourself, I have been created in the image of God. I am a God. Do you know what it means to be a god? If you watch all those Greek movies and see Zeus, you see Zeus and all that, and know the way they carry themselves and like, you know, or even just look at normal royal people in royal ballet or king, whatever. You see the way the children comport themselves. They carry themselves with gait and royalty. There is an air of authority around them, simply because they know deep down who they are. You must first determine who you are. You must secondly determine your values. I'm going to repeat that. Create your values yourself, your own self. Don't let society or you say, the country is bad, the government is not doing this, there are no social amenities, there are no this, there are no jobs, no this, no that. But in the midst of the no job, in the midst of the bad economy, in the midst of no social amenities, people are changing the narrative. You must tell yourself, I have been created to make an impact, to change a life. Let me tell you something that happened after school. After my secondary school, I was already in the university, and I traveled because my secondary school was in my village. So I traveled to my village. I've forgotten what I went to do there. And a friend of mine, well, we weren't real friends then, but he was the senior prefect of the school, came to school for something, came to the village to get something from this, I think his certificate or stuff like that, and saw me and made a statement to me. I can never forget, because it's a long time ago, but I can never forget what he said. He said, do you know that then when you were in school and keeping yourself, you were one of the only females who kept, one of the only girls who kept herself and, you know, distinguished herself among other girls. Do you know, we used to laugh at you, we used to insult you, we used to, you know, all the things we used to say about you. He said, do you know, when I left school, I never forgot about you. And you were the one person that's made me change my ways and become the person I am today. I was stunned beyond words that I didn't preach to him, I didn't do anything. All I did was stand by my values, understand my goals, and stick to that mentality, that mindset of a leader. And my actions changed someone else years after. Do you get that? When you determine that you are going to be the leader to make an impact, lives will be transformed by you. People will be changed by you. I cannot begin to count how many people. Yes, Ogunkunle, I agree. Self-confidence is very important. See, you need to develop confidence in yourself. No matter what anybody says, you are worth it. You are a person of importance. You were created in the likeness and the image of the Creator. You are powerful. You are talented. You are special. You are beautiful. You are amazing. You are intelligent. Even if in school you came out third class, you are intelligent. Intelligence is not determined by that, because you are exceptional at other things. Even if you are not exceptional at some things, you are exceptional at other things. So understanding who you are and accepting that you have been created to create a change, to be a leader, to be a model, that helps you stand firm in the midst of peer pressure. That has helped me over the years.
Thank you very much. And like you know, you said it, self-confidence is very important. And you know, it's most of the time it starts with you. It starts with you. And like I rightly said earlier, with failure is something that we'll always face. And you just need to know who you are. Okay, you need to know. I don't know if you watched the movie Overcomer. So I don't know, you know.
I've watched it.
I have to give that assignment to my daughter to say, like, you know, pick this verse and start writing who you are. Start writing what the Bible says about you. And I read something somewhere. So there was this gathering of people, and they were asked to introduce themselves, to say who they are, you know. And so someone picked the mic. My name is Juliet. My name is Juliet Ogunkunle, or my name is Juliet Oyeni. That's it. My name is Nnamdi. My name is that. And he got to someone. Before he mentioned his name, he said, I am someone who has worked with over 400 youths, and I've been able to bring out so number of youths out of prison. And guess what? People that have been mentioning just their names, you know, people are not turning their head to look at them, but maybe they heard, I am someone who had worked with 400 youths, and out of the 400, I've been able to work with 200 to take them out of prison. Everybody wants to see who was that person. Everybody wanted to know who he was. And so people were listening to him talking about himself.
He's the model. I like that. I like that.
You know, people were waiting to hear his name. So most of the time, it's not really about your name. It's not really about the things people, it's not really about the things people can see. Maybe at that particular time was wearing a very simple shirt, you know. It's about those things that are inside of you, those things that you know about yourself. Now, when you're going through prayer and you're going through so many things, those are the things that will stand firm. Those are the values that you always recall. They will keep coming to your, you know, they'll keep coming to your subconscious, and you'll be like, I cannot do this thing, and you know, things like that. I had my own story, you know. So at some point in time, I had my dad, I had my mom, and I still have them. But at some point in time, things happened, and you know, I needed to sit for an exam. And I went to meet the person who was in charge to say, okay, I'm going to sit for this exam, but I don't know if you could, I can't remember what it was there. Okay, I didn't have the total amount for the fees to sit for the exam. And I was requesting for, okay, can I pay in installments? Can I make, and I think I was going to do 90% then, and then the 10%, which was their admin fees, I'll do it some other time. And you know, the response I got was, no problem. You don't need to pay both the 90% and the 10%. Wow. Exactly. All we needed to do was, you know, just let's meet somewhere and things like that. I looked at myself. My mom was not there. My dad was not there. Nobody was there. But the only thing that came to my mind was, I'm sorry, that's not who I am. I can't do what you're asking for of. And that's because I know that someday I'll be doing what I'm doing right now. So how will I be able to tell someone that is going through that, to say, when I was going through that prayer, when I was going through that circumstance, I went into that, you know? So most of the time, it is that leadership trait, that value in yourself, as you people who want to recognize, people want to know about you, people want to affiliate themselves with you, people want to recognize the values that you carry. And it is, most of the time, it is the story that you have to tell that will resonate well with people. It is not about the number of books you have read. It's not going to be about what is in those books. Most of the people will remember you for your story. So what is that story? How did you go through the prayer? How were you able to overcome those things? So most of the time when you are going through challenges, you remember that, okay, I'm going through this challenge so that I'm able to help someone, to support someone that might go through this. It could be your daughter, it could be your son, it could be your neighbor, it could be your nephew, your niece. And by the time they hear your story and how you were able to overcome, you have made impact. You don't have to be all over for you to make impact. You have made impact. You have touched someone's life, and you have helped the person to, you know, you prevented the person from taking a particular step that could have resulted to more bigger things in their lives. So you need to recognize who you are. You need to know your worth. And even if you are accepted by people, you do things to make them accept you. They're accepted by you. There's always this question that rings in your mind to say, oh, this is not my real self. This is not, you know, this is not my real face. This is not who I am. They're accepting the fake me. When they know the true me, will they accept me? So there's always that stigma. There's always that question when you are not yourself, to say, will they accept me if I'm myself? So instead of going through the trouble, just be yourself. And when whether they accept you or not, it's a prayer, we know. But over time, they will want to affiliate themselves with you. They will want to come back to you. And I know we are running out of time, and we could discuss this we could discuss this for a more longer. So I'm going to ask, at what age does prayer start? I know you have made mention of 10, 11, but as a youth, at what age? Or as a young adult, at what age do you think it starts? And where do you think it starts from?
I would say, maybe if we're talking about young age or whatever, right now, because of the advancement in technology, things are quite different. If it was those days, I'll say peer pressure probably starts at 15, 16. But right now, peer pressure starts at 9. You know, because you know, I said I'm an educator, so I associate with kids who are 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you begin to hear them. You're poor, you can't come to parties. So who are you? You don't have this. You can't come to my parties. But for the youth, maybe I could say the ages from 14, 15, that pressure begins to come, because that is the season where boys and girls begin to be aware of their personality. You know that they are transitioning from childhood to adulthood. So that part, that middle journey, that middle stop, rather, let me put it that way, the middle course is where the pressure really comes, because they are trying to discover themselves, they're trying to discover their values. Who am I? Who am I as the child that my mother knows, or who am I as an adult that I'm supposed to become? So that is really the period I feel that people begin to face pressure now, because they are gradually being weaned from their parents. Even their parents begin to say, do you think you're a child? Do you know you are no longer a child? You get that. So hearing that every time, everywhere, there's something within that begins to tell you, you need to grow up. You need to grow up. And because you need to grow up, they're trying to find their way. They're trying to understand the system. They're trying to fix themselves into the group or a tribe or a community. That is where pressure really begins.
Yeah, true. And like you rightly said, it's scaled up to the adulthood, we all exactly.
Yeah. Even adults. I
Yeah.
think really now, that, as I said, because of social ills and how the economy is affecting so many people, there is a pressure to do wrong, because in the society, somehow we elevate and celebrate corruption more than integrity. So why bother yourself to speak the truth when we celebrate the lies? Why bother yourself to work when you can do whatever and do yahoo yahoo or whatever and blow suddenly? Why stress yourself to get a job of 50,000 naira when there are other ways you can, cut corners and
Make that
become a
money than
millionaire?
her.
Yes, become a millionaire. Everybody wants to blow, and be known and be famous, be an influencer, be celebrity and stuff like that. So the pressure is really, really on now. But there is nothing as solid as your foundation. Your life is an expression of the foundation that you have set. So why would a skyscraper collapse? The foundation is faulty. So there must have been some flaws in the foundation from the beginning. So see why sometimes people buy houses and they demolish it to restructure. They go and dig up the foundation and redo the foundation to have a foundation solid enough for the image of the kind of building that they want. It's the same. Whether we are young or old, adults, adolescent, whatever, until we get our foundations right, until we get our values right, until we understand that this is me, come rain, come shine. I stand for truth, come rain, come shine. Or I stand for integrity, come rain, come shine. I understand that I should do unto others what I want others to do to me, come rain, come shine. I understand that I should love my neighbor as I love myself, come rain, come shine. When we are able to build those value systems, when we get into the pressure of corruption, the pressure of criminality or wrong social acts, we would stand strong no matter what. That's it.
Yeah. And I think you said a whole lot about it. You said a whole lot about it. And but one thing I know that most of the time it relates with our values. So, but one thing I've come to find out is that there are times where people are going through prayer and they don't know that they are going through prayer. Sometimes people are traumatized, people are depressed, and they don't know that
Mm.
they are in that state because of one thing that was triggered from somewhere. And you know, they see things as status quo, they see things as normal. So let me take for instance the workplace. So as a young adult, you are in this workplace, and you know, they fake documents, they do things, people take shortcuts, you know, people take shortcuts, cut corners, just because they feel their salary is too small, you know, things like that.
No.
And they know that, okay, so if people think you are going to pay me, let's say 50,000 naira now, and I know that when you give me money for fuel, or when you give me this and this and this, I can cut corners and get part of my money back, you know, things like that. So there are times that these things happen in the workspace, and you want to set the pace as a leader. You don't want to be found in the midst of things like that, you know. And you find out that at some point, this is not a matter of SU now. You be tagged as one of those that you think you are better off, you know. You think it's
Everyone
you.
else.
I'm telling you, it's you that want to you want to be distinct, you want to be separate, you know, things like that. And little by little, they start throwing some words at you. They start, it doesn't just, they don't just come and they start throwing those words at you, you know, you're working, they throw those words. You find that indirectly at some point, those things can now act as prayer in the workplace.
Mm-hmm.
And the same
Okay.
thing happens in some, maybe it's in some institutions, in some group. You find out that because those words are being thrown at you, the person might not realize that those words are beginning to feed into your mindset, they are beginning to feed into your subconsciousness. And sometimes when you want to take an action, that thought of those people will just come to your mind. And when those thoughts, when you think about what someone will say before you take a particular action, please just know that the pressure is beginning to eat at you. And that's because you're no longer putting yourself first. You're no longer considering, okay, this action I'm about to take, what do I think about it for myself?
Mm.
You are thinking about what someone else will think
Else
about
is
it.
thinking. That's it.
And that is prayer. And so most of the time, by the time you decide to take steps based on what they think, you find out that you're falling into that trap and depression hits. So there are times that we find it pretty more difficult to know when we are under pressure, or when some things are happening that are not putting us in the right space. You know, most of them, you know, on our CVs we used to have, I can work under pressure. I don't know if you saw some, I can work under pressure.
Yes, I want the pressure. Okay.
I know in my mind, but please, I won't put it on my CV anywhere that I can work under, because I'm not supposed to be under pressure in the workplace or in first distance. I'm not.
Very true.
And I don't know the kind of pressure that you might want to throw at me, and I'm already giving myself up there to say I can work under pressure. So sometimes I find it pretty more difficult to recognize when we are under pressure, or when some things are beginning to come at us that could put us in a space where we wouldn't have loved to be. So it's just for us to find out when something is going to eat at you, when something is beginning to get at you, you know that this thing is beginning to form, this is beginning to put me in the light that I'm not happy about. And so we are going to close right now, but I will leave this, which is, how badly can peer pressure and eat us? How badly can it affect? And even after it has affected anyone, what do you think they can do to come out?
They can do.
Yeah.
But pressure can hit anyone to any level. Just as you said, sometimes the pressure hits so bad that people go into depression. I've heard of stories that people commit suicide just because of the pressure that they face. Now, how do you break free from pressure? How do you get out of pressure? Peer pressure, let me put it that way. There are 4 things I wrote down here, and of course I've dealt so much about it. Determine your values, stand for something, and then develop a leader's mindset. The second thing I'm going to say is get a model, either a role model, get someone that you can talk to, who's older than you, someone who has seen life. You understand? You get this person understands life and knows, has been through this whole journey, and is someone who would understand me. You need to be able to speak to somebody about it. If it is small pressure, something you can like throw off, okay, fine, what's that? No big deal. But if it is pressure that is weighing on you, you need to get someone to talk to. It's very important. They say that a problem shared is half solved. You know, that's it. It's partly solved. So if you are able to shift the burden and the depression and the pressure on someone else, and it gets lighter. So you need to get someone you can talk to. Secondly, you need to create a tribe around yourself, your associations. Get associations that will help you, support you, people who celebrate you. Everybody has someone who celebrates them. Get the people who will celebrate your value system and support you and say, well, look, don't mind it. Even if they are talking against you or whatever, you're just awesome. You need to create that association. Then the other thing I said was you need to protect the gateway to your soul, to your being. And the gateway, the Bible says, guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it flows your life. So the thing is this, you need to protect the gateway to your soul. And what is that? Your eyes, your ears, your mouth, your senses. So you need to protect, be very careful what you watch. It's been said that because of so much crime in movies, gangsterism in movies, things have increased.
Sorry, let me say this here. If it's anger, please come back again because I'm really enjoying this part. Okay, sorry.
Okay, no problem. I'll do that. So because of the increase in gangsterism, in murders, in rape, in corruption, all those things infused into media, you can see that it has translated into the society, and those things have increased. And how was it able to be transmitted to the society? Through the eyes, is it not? Watching of those programs, listening to the kind of music. You see the kind of music that promotes violence, that promotes body shaming, that promotes such pressure on you to want to do things that are wrong. Those are the gateways to your soul. So you need to watch your gateways. What are you feeding your person with? This body is not your personal. The physical thing you see is not your person. Your person is your soul, your mind, your will, your emotions, your convictions, your belief system, your mindset. That is who you are. So are you protecting that gateway? If you are protecting that gateway, then you will be able to overcome pressure. So I've said, develop a leader's mindset. Learn to say no, because you know that others are watching you and your life is going to speak for other people. Then determine your value system, stand for something, and watch your associations. Then get someone you can talk to. All those people who are joining bad gang because you don't have money, you can reach out to me. I will tell you how to live, create wealth for yourself, because that is who God has made you to be, to empower you to create wealth and be comfortable and be financially free. You don't have to be corrupt to do the things that you want to do and to enjoy life. So that's it. Oh, one more thing. I talked about vision. I said vision. What is the vision you have for your life? Where do you want to be? What stages do you want to stand upon? Who are the people the kind of people you want to relate with? Don't be afraid to set such high goals and expectations for yourself. Tell yourself, I want to be, look, people who said they want to be the next president, somehow, they end up being presidents of associations and organizations or whatever, even if they end up not being presidents of a country, because they have set high goals and visions for yourself. What is the vision for yourself? Don't say, I want to blow. I want to blow means nothing. You want to explode, you explode and die. That's not a vision. You want to affect 10,000 people in Africa. You want to feed so village in Nigeria. You want to be a go-to person for solutions to the situation and the economy of the country. You want to be the go-to person for schools to come to you, for you to help them upscale. You need to create visions for yourself. Even if you are in a one-bedroom apartment, even if you are sleeping under the bridge, you can determine the kind of life you want and refuse to be pressured into conforming to things that do not promote the kind of life that God has created you to live. So get the right vision.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. That was awesome. That was awesome. We'll be having more talk on this pressure thing because it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot. Yeah. And so I'm going to seize the opportunity to say thank you very much for joining. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. This was mind blowing for me also. And you know, like you rightly said, it still falls back to your vision. Everything falls back to your vision. What is that vision that you have for yourself? What is your drive? Where are you heading to? Where are you going to? You know, don't just say you want to blow. You have to define it. What do you want? You can't just blow, right? And you know, so you have to define what you want, and you have to set the pace. You have to set the path, the direction. On so and so time, at so and so time, this is what I will do for me to get to that level. You don't just wish for things to just turn around, for things to just happen. You need to walk the walk. I tell people you need to walk the walk and focus on your focus. Walk the walk and focus on your focus. You keep taking that step. And when you fall, you try again. You fall, you try again. And we are here for you to speak to us. You want empowerment, one of the things that both of us are passionate about, because we've been there and we understand that we need these things. We need to support ourselves. We need to have this support system for us to help ourselves as youths. You know, most of the time the society does not see you and I. They don't see you, but we see you because we understand what you must have gone through and want to be there as a support system. Right. Thank you very much, guys, for joining us. We appreciate and do have a very wonderful weekend. You know, thank you. Thank you. Bye. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. Thank you. Oh, please, and if you have your questions, oh geez, I didn't take questions. Do you have any questions? I was going to rush
Do we have time? We have time. We can take questions.
Okay, please, do you have any question for us? Do you have any question? Oh geez, sorry. Pardon me. Any question you want to ask? How you could reach us? It's like to our DMs. Phone numbers is on our pages. You have any question you want to ask, please feel free. After this program, you can always reach us, and during this program, if you have any question you can drop in the comment section and I will take it. Thank you for joining us, Timmy. Thank you, Osage. Thank you, Kenemi Love. I really appreciate you guys. And as I'm not receiving any questions, so I'm going to end in 5. 1, 2, 3. Don't mind me, I play a lot. 4.
I love it.